So today we're doing more brake work. Those are the old pads, or the old shoes, I guess, and the old wheel cylinder. When I pulled the drums off, I might show you those in a minute, but I found that kind of what I worried about. There was no parking brake mechanism. I mean, there was no parking brake cable on the truck to begin with. So I ordered a new cable, and when I pulled the drums off, the levers, let me go to the other side. These are the levers. There's two of them here. There's this one that connects to this, and then there's a cutout on the bottom of this at the parking brake. The ball on the end of that fits inside a little slot right there. So it pulls this, and by pulling this, it pushes the two apart. Well, those were missing on both sides, so I had to dig around in the parts and around the shop to come across the parts I needed to get a parking brake set up on here. So this is the backing plate that's been stripped down. I got a new wheel cylinder on this side. I put one on the other over there. If you were looking a second ago, you saw that it was missing. Well, I installed it, got it all together, got the shoes adjusted, and found out that for some reason the wheel cylinder that Grandpa had laying here, which I was using on that side, doesn't fit the fittings that I ran for all the brake lines, all the new brake lines that are around. So I had to pull it back out. I don't know why that one doesn't fit. It may be from a later 40s rear end. I don't know. Anyway, so I ordered a new one of those, and that should be here, I think, by the 5th. So anyway, I've got this one on, and you can see the line. It's in there. I got to tighten it, but it fit no problem. So what I'm doing now that I've got all the pieces for the parking brake, this is the lever, just like on the other side, and this will be the other side of the shoe. So there's like a little rod that kind of pushes out the back side of that, and it slides inside that slot there. I just knocked it off, but here you can see there's the hole right there that the parking cable sets in. It's pretty simple design. There's just these two levers. Like I said, there's the slot there that fits in that rod, and then there's two pins that need to be set through the shoe, and then there's a relief kind of cut into that pin, and these little clips here. What they do is they fit over that into that slot, and then you pinch them down. I maybe could have ordered some new ones, but luckily I found just enough of those to do what I needed to do here. Should be okay. So, and of course you got the spring here that fits underneath that. Why this stuff wasn't on the truck, I don't know. Maybe some farmer had the truck and got tired of, well, every time you change the shoes, that's this piece here. Every time you change a shoe, you gotta pull that, you gotta unbend that little C-clip right there off of the pin, knock the pin out, put the pins back in on the new shoe, and then reassemble it all. Kind of pain in the butt, I suppose. So maybe that's why the parking brake got removed. I don't know. I have had experience driving manuals, and it's really annoying when you don't have a parking brake. So anyway, I've got all the parts for this now. Well, other than that other wheel cylinder that'll be here in a few days to reassemble the rear brakes. So I'm gonna put these two shoes on today. Get it all set up on this side. I might jack up the front end and pull the wheels off and pull those hubs and change the shoes on the front end. I've ordered new grease seals. I think it was the driver's side was okay, but the passenger side here, it had a lot of grease inside the wheel hub, which it shouldn't happen because there's like a this is the bearing. Well, I guess the race or whatever, but there's a wheel bearing inside the wheel drum. It's got little roller bearings that roll along this, and then on the back side that there'll be a grease seal, and on the front side there should be like a felt or a fiber washer that's pressed in behind a nut or behind a washer. So you'll have on the back side a grease seal, then you got the wheel bearing, and then the hub comes out this way, and then there'll be a felt or fiber seal and a washer, and then the nut. Well, on this side I didn't see the nut or the washer between the seal and the nut here. So I'm guessing that's why there was so much grease inside of the drum. So anyway, I've ordered new seals for the bearings, and I'll pull the bearings out and clean them up, and then repack them with grease. New seals on there, and that would hopefully keep the grease out of the bearing, or out of the hub. Also, the grease wasn't well, it could just be old and that's why it's black or whatever, but it could have been repacked with the wrong kind of grease. It needs to be a drum grease. It's drums. Well, on these older ones, the tolerances between the bearings and the races and all that stuff is a little bit sloppier than modern cars, so you need a thicker grease to go in there. And that's normally like a yellow or amber kind of color kind of grease, instead of modern grease for wheel bearings, like disc brakes. It's like a grease, a black grease. I may have some around here somewhere. I don't see it handy at the moment, so maybe I won't show you. But like here's the drum. So the hub is pressed in the back side of the drum, and you got this like fiber washer that fits down right there, and that's your outer grease seal, and then you got a steel washer that sits on top of that, and then the nut screws down, and that keeps the grease inside of that. Flip it over, and you have a big C-clip that holds this inner seal in, and then behind that there is these are the roller bearings I was talking about earlier, and that fits over that axle. So I'm gonna pull the C-clips out and put a new inner grease seal in, in the hub. The drum is kind of ugly on the outside. The inside doesn't look too bad. I may send it off, get turned. I don't know what the spec calls for as minimum thickness on this wall here. Hopefully it's within tolerance to get turned. If not, I'll have to dig around for some other drums. And really don't want to do that if I can get away with it, because then I have to pull the hub out of the drum and switch it over. Anyway, so that's what we're looking at on the drums. It's I just did a quick degreasing. I'll have to do some more degreasing on this. This is the one that kind of had all the grease on the inside of it. Even though I've cleaned it a little bit, it's still pretty nasty in there. The other one, let's see, it's sitting over here. This one was a whole lot cleaner. It washed out pretty easy. There wasn't a whole lot of grease inside in the drum, and that's that wheel bearing grease that I think, because the one was missing the washer, probably leaked out of the wheel bearing. Guess it's it. Yeah, so it's brake work. I mean, the system's pretty much in place. I mean, all the lines are done, and actually secured to the frame now. When I first tore it all apart, this whole front, the whole front brake line system was not attached at all. It was only attached by like a single clip on the inside of the frame, maybe about back here. So the whole front end was just loose. Yep. So anyway, I guess I'll get back to work. Oh yeah, I guess I can bring this up. It's the brake cable, which looks all shiny and new. It's got new boots on it and came pre-assembled, and I mean, it was only like $18-19 for the whole cable with the ball in the end and the spring here. There's two little washers that are placed in it. I mean, it'd be possible to make another one, but for $20, I'm sure I can't. It's not worth the time to try to make all these ends and source the clips and springs and all that sort of stuff. The way this works is there's actually supposed to be like a little let's see, I'll find it here. This came off of one. It was just laying in the back somewhere, but this is what I'm looking for. It's two of these, and this is real thin steel. It's got a hole and a kind of slot, kind of horseshoe shaped. It clips over the cable, and these are those washers that were. So they kind of look. You can see it here. So you've got the ball in the end, and then the washer, and then the spring, and then another washer which is kind of frozen right here. But and then you got this clip, and this clip right here, I don't know if you can see it, backs up against right here. That's that tube that the cable slides through, and it comes out the backside of the backing plate here. So you got to get all those washers, both the washers and the spring through, and then you put the clip over it, and that clip keeps the spring from going back up into the tube. Well, I guess I could find a couple of these if I tore down a rear end. I was gonna tear down a rear end that's back there for for these levers, but I ended up finding them. So instead of tearing down another rear end and stealing clips, I just ordered the clips. They're like $1 a piece or something like that. So the e-brake won't be going back on permanently installed until that shows up, but I guess that's kind of an important piece before I close up the hub. I guess that's about it for today. If I wrap up the front brakes or get them disassembled and some maybe have like the front one side, I'll make another video where one side is completely disassembled and the other one is like reassembled, and that way I can show you just kind of like how this is on both sides. I'll show you both sides of the assembled e-brake mechanism, and on the other side where it's not yet together. Guess that's it.